In this video, we're going to talk about codominance and multiple alleles. So human blood types are determined by genes that follow the codominance pattern of inheritance. There are two dominant alleles that are written I capital A and I capital B, and one recessive allele that's represented by a lowercase I. For this table, we're going to use the letter A for the A allele, the letter B for the B allele, and the letter O for the O allele, since it's easier than writing superscript letters. So if you have type O blood, the only genotype that's possible is capital O, capital O. If you have type AB blood, your genotype is AB. If you have type A blood, you could be AA and have two copies of the A allele, or AO and have an A allele and an O allele. And then for B, you can have two copies of the B allele in your genotype, or you can have a copy of the B allele and a copy of the O allele. Blood types matter because the people who receive blood during a transfusion can reject blood that's of a different blood type or an incompatible blood type. Type O blood is lacking many of the surface proteins that are found on type A or B blood. So we could draw a little picture, if you will, of a blood cell. And here you can see what some of those different surface proteins look like. So the type O blood lacks those surface proteins. Type AB blood has blue and green surface proteins representing type A and B surface proteins. Type A blood only has the blue surface proteins, and type B blood only has the green surface proteins. Your immune system is able to recognize those surface proteins and decide whether or not they belong to your body. So if you have type A blood and your body sees a type A protein, it's going to say that it's all good, that's allowed to be here. But if a type A person has an immune system that sees type B blood in their body, that will see that type B protein and say, nope, get out, this could make us sick. So your blood type matters because if you need a transfusion or you choose to donate blood, it's only compatible with people of a compatible blood type. So type O blood, because it lacks those proteins, can donate to all people. Because it doesn't have proteins, it doesn't cause an immune reaction. It's also called the universal donor. Type AB blood can only donate to type AB people because it would make anyone else have an immune response. Type A blood can donate blood to other people with type A or to people who have AB. And type B blood can donate to B or other people with AB. When you receive blood, if you have type O blood, you can only receive blood from other people with type O. If you have type AB blood, you can receive blood from all people because you are the universal recipient. And if you have type A blood, you can get blood from other people with A or O. And if you have type B blood, you can receive blood from people with B or type O. So now we're going to go over some different genotypes. Number 1 says write the genotype for each person based on the description. So if someone's homozygous for the B allele, they'll have BB. If someone's heterozygous for the A allele, they'll have AO. If someone has type O blood, their genotype is OO. And if someone has type A blood, but one of their parents is type O, they will have to inherit the heterozygous genotype AO. If someone has type AB blood, their genotype is AB. And if you have blood that you can donate to anybody, you're the universal donor, you have type O blood. And if you can only get blood from another type O donor, you also have type O blood and a type O genotype. Now, we're going to answer some questions. Number 2 says, pretend that Brad Pitt is homozygous for the type B allele and Angelina Jolie is type O. What are the possible blood types of their baby? So first we need to figure out Brad's genotype, and if he's type B and he's homozygous, his genotype is capital B, and Angelina is type O, so she's OO. So we're going to work on a Punnett square on the next page to predict the blood types of their potential offspring. So we start with their genotypes, BB and OO, and then we fill in the boxes. And you should find that because both parents are homozygous for their respective traits, all of their offspring are heterozygous and they have the same genotype. In this case, they all are heterozygous for blood type B. Number 3 says draw a Punnett square showing all the possible blood types of the offspring produced by a type O mother and a type AB father. So we'll put the mother here and the father here, and then complete our Punnett square. And you should find that the parents are able to pass on type A blood or type B blood, but none of their children have type O blood or type AB blood. Number 4 says 2 parents think their baby was switched at the hospital. It's 1968, so DNA fingerprinting technology does not exist yet. The mother has blood type O and the father has AB, and the baby has blood type B, which is 2 possible genotypes. So we know that the mother, her genotype is OO, and we know that the baby has type B, but we don't know if they're heterozygous or homozygous. And we know that the father is AB. So we're going to see what their children could have for genotypes first. So we're going to put the parents on the Punnett square. And because the baby has type B blood, we know that the baby is going to be BO instead of BB, which would have been the other option. Letter E says, was the baby switched? And since the baby has type B blood and the parents are very much possible or able to produce a child with type B blood, the likelihood of that the child was switched is very low.